Jason.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Can't get enough baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's no two people I'd rather be talking to right now than Jason Turner. St. Anselm great, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right.
Yep.
All right, just want to make sure. We always have... did you ever play Springfield College?
We did not, no. We were in the NE10.
All right. Yeah, you're a little bit better than that. So, okay, and the guy who just had a showcase, a guy who just dominated in front of Major League scouts, and that's Rich Hill, he knows science, he knows what's what, and that's why he's wearing his Japanese Baseball Isn't Boring shirt.
Baseball Isn't Boring. Thank you, Rob, for having me on again, having both of us on. This is a great good morning. It's early. It was an early bullpen, but it was great. Felt like a little bit of spring training.
It is great. And so to set the scene here, we're at Champion Physical Therapy and Performance in Waltham, Massachusetts, and Rich just did put on a showcase in his well-documented quest after dominating as a coach for Little League to come back and pitch in the major leagues. And this was an enormous, enormous step. And Jason, I just want to and you've just talk to me a little bit about your role in this and how you've gone down this path with Rich and what you've seen before we get into the what's what when it comes to what Rich did today.
Yeah, happy to, and thanks for having me on. I would say this started when we were in high school. When Rich was released, he was looking for a place to play, and we started throwing. I'd have Legion games at 3:00. He'd text me and just say, you mind throwing with me before? So it was pretty transactional to start. I was best friends with Rich's nephew, Lloyd, and then like I said, it was pretty transactional to start. And then this past year we coached the 12-year-olds together with his son Bryce, and that's when we really kind of connected, and it turned into like a friendship, and it's been great. And just seeing how he competes every day and can come back from not playing and being resilient. He's done it before, he'll do it again, and I think it's just been really cool to see somebody compete at that level every single day for years. So it's been great.
So when you start the process, you're like, and we all want Rich to do well, and we all want him to fulfill this journey. But then as your Little League season's winding down and sort of the rubber's reading the road a little bit, and you're catching for him, are you like, oh man, this is pretty good, right? This is pretty good. Did it surprise you at all how advanced he was, considering he was the first base coach for the Milton, whatever they are?
Matt Duffy. Matt Duffy.
All right.
Yeah, well, I want to emphasize that he was the first base coach and I was the third base coach.
That's a good point.
But no, it didn't surprise me. Like I said, just the level of competitiveness, being able to create a competitive environment in a bullpen session, playing catch every day, working out, it's not easy. And I think he's the best I've ever seen at it. And, it just speaks to, what he's done in the past and what he can continue to do.
So talk to me a little bit, Rich, about the ramp up to this. We've talked a lot about what you were going to do, and it's one thing to lob into well-meaning 12-year-olds, but you had to throw a little bit. You had to keep yourself in shape, and then when the season ended, like, okay, let's go. Talk to me about the path before you got to this showcase today.
So Jason and I, we started working out, doing track workouts. Obviously a gradual throwing progression. Back in, I would say, beginning of June.
Yeah, maybe even before. Yeah.
Middle of May, we started playing catch, and the progression of getting into long toss and then working into some flat grounds and then going into bullpens has been going on for a few months now, and I would say 2.5 months at least, and probably a solid month and a half of real bullpens, like really. And when I say bullpens, today was a good example of that. I think it was close to 100 pitches. So, the build up I knew had to be there from my standpoint, and being able to have the ability to be ready to start and or open or relieve, or come in as a long reliever, however that might be. Being prepared for every possible scenario had to be built up in that fashion. And also, I'd like to point out, none of this would have been able to happen if Jason wasn't willing to work every day with me. And we've been playing catch almost I'd say 5 days a week to upwards of 7, but mostly 5 days a week, working in the schedule when it's obviously available for both of us, and our little league schedules that are very
daunting.
Yeah. That's obviously the hardest work, and this is just the fun part. But going back to and I know you guys, I think, went down the Cape a little bit, right?
We did down to Falmouth. Yeah, we went down to Falmouth.
To face some hitters.
Yes.
And also to use they have TrackMan down there.
So, every team wants data. Every team wants to be able to quantify, okay, what does this look like? Is this real? I think the days of scouting where, you would just hear the crack of the bat and tell that the hitter was a good hitter and that was the exit velo. Or you could see a fastball hop at the end or jump at the end. That was vertical, induced vertical.
Yeah, we had no idea. We've talked about that.
Right. And so now, which is a good thing, but also at the same time, I think it, takes away from the ability for eyes to see pitchability. So when you do see guys who can, okay, wow, he threw a fastball, right up and in to a lefty or up and away to a righty, right on the outside corner of the strike zone, and now he throws a curveball off of that back door, and it looked exactly the same. Yes, TrackMan will tell you that, but when you see it with your eyes, it's like, wow, it's a different, it's just a different look, and that's something that we were trying to achieve in today, obviously with the scouts being here, but in Falmouth, gaining the data to be able to hand out and show, okay, here's what horizontal movement looks like on my breaking ball, here's what the vertical movement looks like, and here's what the velo is. But then to couple that with the vision and scouts that have the eyes that come in and see that puts it together, and they say, okay, this makes sense now. Because one or the other, I guess that's where I'm saying that the data is so important now and valuable, because it just confirms what we see.
Yeah, and they want the confirmation. They want, it's the fail-safe for them. It's like it's a security blanket for them, right?
Well, that's true, but also the other side of it, somebody else could be throwing. Right, yeah. And I could say, "Here's my data." Yeah, right, and then it's like, okay, and then you show up, and it's like, well, wait a minute, you showed us the data.
But so I'm going to get to today's show workout in a second, but I will say this is that one of the scouts was, you said pitchability, and it's like the pitchability was incredible. I mean that was eyes on. Like pitchability was incredible, and that last time I checked, that is not part of the data, but that says something. But I'm going to get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. Jason, I want to. So when you were down in Falmouth and you were facing hitters, and you were catching, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So one of the things is the hitter's reaction. We talk about analytics and measurements and even scouts watching, but the hitter's reactions are a big thing. What was your takeaway from watching these well-meaning D1, high-level college players down the Cape League, their reaction to Rich pitching?
Yeah, it's obviously the best summer league around, and they're probably seeing 95, 96. But when Rich comes in there and he's throwing 88 and mixes it in with 4 other pitches, their eyes kind of look back at me and open up, and they're like, what was that? The pitch started behind me, and it came back into the zone. So it was pretty funny seeing that, and pretty cool to just see, being a pitcher and being able to locate and throw multiple different pitches for strikes, and keep them off balance.
What was it? So going down there, what was the pitch? Which it's the here comes the one finger shit kicker that they don't know is that's coming, right? But what was the pitch that really you said they turned and opened their eyes? What was the pitch for those kids?
Yeah, we call it the grass cutter. It's the slider sidearm from down below. Starts behind a lefty and comes back into the zone. So it's good luck hitting it. Good luck.
All right, so now what was that? A week ago or something like that?
Yeah, it was last. I think it was last Friday.
Yep.
Right? So,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In between, we had the Suburban Youth Baseball Championship, which Milton National boys came through and won, which was huge.
Let's go.
That was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We long summer, and they showed a tremendous amount of improvement over the year, but the improvement was really the fight that they kept on.
Have you ever used the speech, the real winner today is a great game of baseball?
No, that's amazing.
Yeah, you're welcome. You can use that. Well, that's usually for losses.
A plethora of knowledge as usual.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right, so now we get to the here and the now. We knew that you're gonna not to say that it was all ramping up to this, but it was a big day. It was a good day and a big day. Rich, I would imagine you've done showcases before, right?
Yeah, but that was, probably, I'm trying to remember back when. I mean, college, probably.
Really? That long? So you didn't even do when the Red Sox signed you in 2014?
No, I wouldn't. I should revert back to that because that was probably the Red Sox were the team that came and watched me throw, and had made some suggestions that made very impactful kind of point into where I was going to jump into when I threw.
You were talking about back in 2014, yeah.
2015, yeah.
2015, yeah. I'm sorry.
And being able to use those, points of information moving forward actually kind of jump-started the opportunity to get back into starting. And, moving from the left side of the rubber to the right side of the rubber, just something as simple as that. And then obviously making the decision to go back to a starter because of pitching in independent ball. I just said to myself, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go back as a starter because I finally felt healthy with my shoulder after having surgery in 2009. It had been many years now since I was removed from surgery and a lot stronger and in a way different position in 2015 than I was in 2009. So the work and the effort that went into all those years was a culmination of being ready to get back into starting. But yeah, I would say 2015 was probably the last time.
Okay.
And then, the suggestion was to go and much different than I was in the position today. So as far as pitchability or stuff or kind of completion of more complete pitcher today than I was in 2015.
So you how it worked was you had warm-up tosses, and I don't have the exact number, but it was a fair amount, and then you had 3 up downs. And I had one scout who estimated you threw over 100 pitches. Jason, do you have any idea? Does that even register for you?
Including warm-ups, probably close to it, but yeah, unless he tells me to count, I don't.
Okay, you're laser focused.
I got my job.
You got your job to do. And so when you're coming out here, it's obviously inside. It's out, not outside, not against hitters, but you have the measuring, the things to measure it. You have the scouts here. Did you feel? I guess the overall thing is, how did you feel it went?
I felt like it went well. The reason we didn't do it outside today with the weather was questionable, and I would have preferred to do it outside. I'd much rather pitch off of a mound, real mound, than a indoor mound. But yeah, I thought it went well. The ball came out of my hand well. Again, being able to show the volume that can be had in a short amount of time as well. I think with 3 ups and close to 100 pitches, that's something that I've been working towards and understanding again that whatever capacity it might be, you're ready for that. It's not like, okay, well, he's got to be built up for, because we're in August. That was the main the main reason for staying home was to watch and coach my son, and then to fulfill that and also be ready in August, as I said, to come back and pitch at the major league level. So being able to understand that, and then you kind of reverse engineer it. So you start from where you want to finish, and then you work backwards, and you figure out, okay, this is where it needs to start, and then start moving forward and continuously moving in the right direction of achieving what we did today. So for me, that was probably the easiest way to go about it, and start from the end to the beginning.
It feels like, it really does feel like, and I don't know if this is a reality, because we are in uncharted territory a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it does feel like, okay, as we knew this was going to happen. You get to this point in the season, teams it's attrition, right? It's like starters, they need starters, they need pitching.
Earlier this year.
Attrition, yeah.
Yeah, I remember with the 12-year-olds.
Yep.
Because that game, they had to fight the whole game.
Yeah.
They had to fight.
Yeah, I let him do the definition.
What do you think he's getting that from? Like, I'm basically feeding him. I'm feeding him in T-shirts and the words.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you knew teams were going to be so. When you're right, I mean, it is August. We're into August, but from what you see or what we saw here today, it's not like you say, oh, well, you need 5, minor league outings.
No, that was, and again, that was the whole idea. That was the whole point, was to be able to not throw a 20-pitch bullpen and be like, hey, that's it. Okay, great. But to say like, oh wow, okay, there's more, and again, to be ready for whatever situation you're called upon to do is very important, and I think that's an important message for a lot of kids out there. Is like, always be prepared, always be ready, no matter what the situation is going to come and present, how it's going to present itself, because you never know. And that was certainly the reasoning behind the volume of pitches today. So again, we're looking at a truncated part of the year where if this is something that teams are as interested in as I am, then they understand that there's only 3 weeks before September 1st, and if we're looking to actually have this guy on our postseason roster, we got to make a decision within the next couple of days. And being ready for that is something that I knew was going to have to happen. In the beginning, it was a lot of fun. It was interesting, and just to not, just try to see where we were going, how I was feeling, and stuff like that. There were definitely, good days in the beginning and bad days in the beginning of playing catch. But once everything kind of smoothed out, it was almost like, getting back into working out in the off season, then getting into like almost spring training when you're, ready to go for the season. And that's what we accomplished.
And so right now you feel, your body, what it's like to get out major league hitters.
Yeah.
You feel like right now you probably could go out and pitch 5 innings and
absolutely.
and have a good, a quality start. Six innings, 3 runs.
6 innings, 3 runs. Yeah.
You could do that right now.
Yeah, I feel 100% convicted behind that.
That's good. Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I believe you though. Like, I believe you from watching today, but I believe because I don't think you're bullshitting me. I think that it's true.
Yeah.
And so when you watch him today, and you're probably not nervous, but nervous for him, right? I don't know, because you guys, it's a journey, right? I mean, what was your takeaway from today?
Yeah, I wasn't nervous for him at all. He's done this longer than a lot of people. But no, I was pumped up for him, and just to see his stuff, and like I said, we've been doing this for a few months now, and kind of being unattached to like, what is this going to be, and just showing up every day, playing catch, putting in the work. I think he's prepared himself for today, and for what's to come. So I think it was less about nerves and more like, hey, it's showtime.
It went pretty well, you feel like?
Yeah, I thought he did great.
Yeah.
Ball was moving great, command was great, and the velocity was there too. So overall, I thought it was a great session.
All right, you've earned a Baseballs and Boring shirt.
Extra large.
Extra large. All right. Do you? I don't know. Your triceps never look better. Right? I mean, it's just a strategic thing. It's like when the kids show up like all the Cuban baseball players for their showcase, and they wear like the skin tight neon outfits. Yeah. Like, you show up wearing your Baseballs and Boring Japanese T-shirt because they know, number one, it shows you your love for the game, but also your triceps never look better.
That's true.
It takes like 10 years off.
And internationally, worldwide.
Who knows? Maybe a Japanese goes. But thank you both. Excellent job. It was a lot of fun for me to watch, and I can tell you right now, I did my part in putting up video on social media, and let's just say there's a lot of fan bases excited about the prospects of Rich Hill pitching for them.
I appreciate it, Rob. Thank you for coming and having us on.